What's up, Keep Pounding crew? Back to another video. Keep pounding. If you like the channel, if you like the video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, select all, leave a comment down below. Today's topic is, how did the Washington Redskins win from last year screw us up in the draft? Let's get into it. All right. That win over the Washington Redskins last year was not necessary. We didn't need it. We were out of the playoffs. We had zero chance. All this did was hurt us in the draft spots. And this is exactly how it hurt us in the draft spots. Everybody complains that, oh, we just had to have a revenge on Ron Rivera. Everybody can't stand Ron Rivera right now. You know what? Y'all wanted to know how this affects us later on in the draft? Here we go. Here's the perfect example of how it affects us. We missed out on Penei Sewell at pick 7. We would have been 2 spots up in that draft if we had lost to the Washington football team. 2 spots up. We would have gotten Penei Sewell, who we were targeting. Then we settled for J.C. Horn. Now, second round. How this affects us. We missed out on a ton of talent in the second round because we traded down. Y'all know who was on my radar. Y'all know all the names that were on my radar. If you don't, Asante Samuel Jr., Cosme, Redunds, Eichenberg, just to name a few. Jackson Carman, Barmore was on that list as well. Tevin Jenkins too. So, by being a little too aggressive, we traded down twice, and we got Terrence Marshall Jr. Joe Brady's pick. Joe Brady's wide receiver. Yay! Right? He got his wide receiver. He's happy. He's satisfied. Now, that means we missed out on Cosme. We missed out on a few really good players here. And I gotta be honest, that really ticked me off until I saw what we were getting in the third round. We got Brady Christensen. Yes. Yes. Brady Christensen. And, you got to be happy with that. Brady Christensen. We didn't get Joseph Osai. We didn't get Kellen Mond. But we got Brady Christensen, though. That's a win. Now, later on, we ended up getting Trimble, the tight end from Notre Dame. Now, here is how this Washington game comes into effect again. 2 picks before this, Hunter Long goes to the Dolphins, the tight end from Boston College. That's the guy we were targeting. Do you see a pattern here? Now, we also missed out on Diami Brown, the wide receiver from North Carolina. He went to Washington. We move on down. Moving on down. And we go into the 4th round now. 4th round. Here's how this affects us again. We choose Hubbard, the running back from Oklahoma State. Now, let me remind you that the Patriots picked up Stevenson, the running back from Oklahoma. again, it affects us and we don't get a defensive end. Are you seeing a pattern, ladies and gents? And we also missed out on Cameron Bynum, which is not a problem because we were about to go and get another corner. So you move on down on the list. We give up on Gillespie, the safety from Missouri. He goes to the Raiders. And we go to the 5th round. Now, the 5th round, we get Nixon, a defensive tackle, filling that need. Excellent pick. Excellent pick. So, that one, it actually did not affect us that much. But in the sense that we could have gotten a defensive end, probably, and waited on defensive tackle. So, we move on. Shaun Wade from Ohio State goes to the Ravens. We move on down. We get Taylor from Washington instead. Again, here's that Washington game coming into effect. And we move on down. We miss out on we go on down to the 6th round. 6th round. Here's where it really gets interesting. We miss out on Trey Hill. Trey Hill goes to the Bengals. So yet again, we miss out on a really good player. But we get Deontay Brown. Deontay Brown. That's an excellent pick right there. Very, very happy with that. For once, it didn't affect us. The Washington game did not affect that pick at all. So, we move on down. This is where it starts to get interesting because we pick up Shi Smith, the wide receiver from South Carolina. Now, we could have had a defensive end right there. Yet again, we shoot ourselves in the foot. So we move on down to the end of that round. And lo and behold, instead of a edge rusher or a quarterback, we pick up Tommy Fletcher, a long snapper. A long snapper in the 6th. Really, management? Is Jansen really in that much trouble age-wise that we need a long snapper in the 6th? We don't have to have the best long snapper out there. But times are a-changing, I guess, in the NFL. So, we miss out on Trey Smith, the offensive guard from Tennessee, who could have helped us. We also miss out on Daz Newsome, who was picked a pick before us, the wide receiver from North Carolina. Meanwhile, we also miss out on our edge rusher, Quincy Roach. We miss out on Sam Ehlinger, our quarterback. Very disappointing right there. Very disappointing. And what we could have done was traded 2 of those picks up for a higher 6th. And we could have gotten one of those 2 players. And then gotten our long snapper in the 7th. No one was even looking at long snappers until we picked up Fletcher. They weren't even considering long snapper position. But there you go. Since we did, here comes the Washington Redskins team. The Washington football team going after Cheeseman from Michigan. They weren't even looking at either one of these guys up until that point. Chiefs got Trey Smith. And we go into round 7. Round 7. Here's where it affects us again. We picked up another defensive tackle. Why? We now have 6 defensive tackles. What are we going to do with 6 defensive tackles when we needed an edge rusher and a quarterback? Do you see the frustration, guys? Do you see why this is a problem? We missed out on both positions of need because we did not trade up and we were not aggressive enough. There's a point where it's good to be aggressive to trade down, but you also want to be aggressive at the right times to trade up. That's the right time to be aggressive to trade up. And we screwed up. So we shot ourselves in the foot there. We got a long snapper in the 6th. We got a defensive tackle that has literally very few snap numbers. Not very impressive. Doesn't turn any heads. And honestly, probably won't even be on the team anyway. So my thought is we miss out on safety position as well, if anyone is interested in safety position. So for me, it was a B grade up until those last 2 picks. Then it became a B minus because of the long snapper pick at 6th round at the compensatory pick and the defensive tackle in the 7th. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Management, please do explain this one because I don't get it. I really, really don't. Unless you're just looking for another pass rusher, and I mean, we could use a defensive end for that. We could literally use a defensive end for that, and we didn't do it. We didn't pick one up. So, there you go. B minus grade for this year's draft. But let's not look at what we didn't get. Let's look at what we did get. Very happy with what we did get that was available at the time. But y'all wanted to know how that Washington game affects the draft. You just saw a perfect example of it today. I rest my case. I don't know how else to explain this to everybody that keeps acting like we need to win that Washington game. Oh, we just need a win. We just need a win. We just need a win. What good does that win do? Really? What good does that win do? I don't understand. Please explain that to me because I don't see a plus side to that. I don't see a plus side. I always see negatives. And it affected our draft in a negative way. You just saw it. But we just had to have our revenge on Ron Rivera, so here we are. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on this. Hit that like button. Hit that sub button. It's free. Come on. Let me know what you think. And as always, keep pounding.